Offset the rear wheels. It'll give the car a more aggressive stance.
Good idea. Is Ari okay?
Yeah. And the girl is gonna pull through. But what I'm trying to make sense of is, how are you planning on moving a diamond that size?
Diamond? Are you asking all this because you want to know about that girl he took?
Oh, yeah. Her name is Maddie Flynn. You saw her?
Yeah. A few days ago.
I don't know. Follow me on Instagram if you feel like doing so. At Leilany Celeste. And yeah, y'all reach out. Let's collaborate. Let's artists in New York get this going. That's all I gotta say. Boom. Right. Boom. Was that boom good?
Yeah, that was perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah. You must be blinded by the lights. We came to shine here. Watch it look daytime in the night. We bring the vibes here. We full of life, you keep the change. Keep the change. They hate and say we went and changed. I stay the same. You must be blinded by the lights. You must be blinded by the lights.
What's something difficult or hard that you recently had to overcome?
You know, I think that this is such a it's such a competitive and it's just such a competitive business that I think requires a pretty strong sense of self and a strong sense of confidence, even when faced with a bunch of no's.
Right.
So I think one thing I had to get over was letting go. I think I was so caught up in trying to, be the casting director's dream that
Right.
I lost all sense of who I was and what I brought to a role.
Right.
And I truly think the moment where I kind of just let it go and I almost hit rock bottom, that's when my success blew up, because I was I can only give myself.
Mm-hmm.
And, I've learned so much from that. And I like that, I like adding myself to things and my roles and things like that.
Okay. So, take us back to when you were a little girl, you were growing up in Jersey.
Yeah.
Whatever. Tell the world a little bit about yourself and your background and how you got into acting.
Wow, we're gonna go into my life story.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Yeah. This is I got a story to tell.
Yeah,
We
I got a
hear
big story to tell.
The people want to hear your story.
The people. Thank you, people. I was born and raised in Newark, New Jersey, to two Puerto Rican parents, man, straight from Puerto Rico. So it was me and my brother, and we lived in this apartment, and, I went to good schools all my life. My parents worked very hard to give us a comfortable life and
Right.
with what we had. And they never went to college and they never had that experience. But my dad became a firefighter and my mom was an office manager at a doctor's office. And so pursuing arts wasn't something that was in the family.
Right.
Not that they were ever unsupportive. They were always so supportive. But, it wasn't something that I felt had the luxury to do, or my parents had the luxury to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I, little old me, I was watching Sweet Life of Zach and Cody one time.
Right.
And this is a story of how I got into acting. And I think I was looking at Cody and I was just in the middle of watching this episode and I had an epiphany. And I remember pointing to the screen and I told my mom, I was I want to do that. Right. And she was like, okay, I can put you in some classes. So fast forward, she puts me through New Jersey School of Dramatic Arts, NJSDA, shout out. Mm. And I learned all the basics that every kid learns, the acting, the musical theater, the singing, even though I wasn't a fan of the singing at the time. Improv comedy, which helped me a lot. I joined this a professional teen improv troupe at 12 years old.
Right.
And learned some really amazing skills. I just grew so much as an artist from that, being goofy and doing improv and trying to be funny for people. And then one thing led to another, and I went to this open call, and I got my first agent. And then I booked my first SAG job at 14.
Wow.
As a non-union. I didn't even know what SAG was. Like, I was like, what is going on?
It's crazy because it takes like people 10, 20 years to be able to book SAG roles. So
Right.
You did that at 14, which is insane.
Right. And I think it's like something, I look back on, what was I, 14 at the time? So what is this, 8 years later?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that was God's blessing or luck or timing or sometimes a cake of all the ingredients. So
right.
Yeah, I booked that job, and it was like for an industrial. So it was this like Spanish Spanish mini series that was like going out to be a part of Spanish textbooks in high school. So I booked it, and because all the other leads were SAG and it was a SAG role, I ended up getting the invitation to join SAG at 14. I didn't even know what it was, of course, and my parents didn't know what it was, and my mom, as much as she tried to help, none of us knew. And luckily, from some guidance, we decided not to join at 14, which I think, would have made or broke my career. I didn't join, and there was 8 grueling years after that first SAG job where I didn't book a single thing.
Wow. 8 years. So you went 8 years without work?
Without booking anything. I didn't even get a call back for stuff. I had a really rough experience with my art during that time. And I think I was in high school, and my personality so quickly went to like, oh, I booked this thing. And then I signed to a bigger agency. So I was like, oh, things are going to pick up. And the whole family was like, things are picking up. And they didn't. They plummeted completely. And I didn't book anything. All of high school, all of college, like.
Yeah, so I know it's a tough business, and that's the reason why a lot of actors quit or give up or something. So how have you dealt with rejection? Because this is that's what you deal with in acting. You have to deal with a lot of rejection.
Yeah.
What advice would you give someone else to help them deal with rejection when it comes to?
That's a good question.
When it comes to going into acting and dealing with, because I know a lot of people who say, "Oh, I've been on like 100 auditions and got one call back and stuff like that." And what would be your advice on dealing with rejection in the industry?
I've had a lot of teachers because I went to NYU, the drama program. People ask that question too. Yeah. Like, how do you separate yourself from the business, and how do you take these no's in a way that isn't personal and doesn't break you completely? And everybody's been like, you need to have other hobbies, you need to have another sense of self other than your career. And as much as I believe that is true, because it is true, and they do help, one thing that really, really helped me was wanting to grow from it. Like, I got to a point where I was like, okay, I don't care if I book it. I mean, we all care.
Yeah, of course you care.
I was like, okay. I was so focused on the booking thing where I was like, I need to, like, if the breakdown was like, she's cheerful but shy and like innocent, I would play exactly cheerful, shy, and innocent, because I'm like, that's exactly what they wanted. And I just never got anything that way. And I think once I was like, okay, how about I just like learn from it, and I choose to just make choices. Who cares if they're right or they're wrong? Because there's really no such thing. Once I started doing that, I started having more fun. And it became less of like, oh, I have to do this and I'm probably going to get a no, to like, okay, let me just do this and who cares, and I'll learn along the way.
Right. Speaking of your career, first off, I want to congratulate you on the early success that you have.
Thanks.
Also, I want to talk about your experience on Law and Order.
Yeah.
So tell me about your experience and the things you played, and also kind of let's dive deep into the character you played,
Tanya Garcia.
Tanya Garcia.
Yeah. Wow. What an experience. I feel so blessed. Like, you know, all glory to God with that one, because I was like alone in my house and my parents were on vacation and my brother had moved and I got the call that I booked it.
Wow.
Knees weak. I like fell on my kitchen floor and I was like, no freaking way. Like, this is insane. Getting on set was such an interesting experience. I think it was adrenaline and excitement and wanting to prove yourself, you know? But immediately, you know, I was hit with two things. I learned two things. One, holy cow, do they move quickly.
Right.
They're just like this. Like, school didn't even prepare me for that. And two, you really have to learn to ask for things and stand up for yourself. Not that anything bad ever happened, but it's just people are just so busy with their own jobs and the episodes are getting knocked out and it's a cop show. And so things are kind of very quick.
Yeah, like clockwork.
Yeah, completely. Like an oiled machine. And you're coming into this animal
Whole
that
new
already
world.
knows how it works.
Right.
And then you have to add something to it. So it was such an amazing experience. I went in, I like said hi to so many people that I could, smiled as much as I could, and went into my dressing room and really honed in on Tanya Garcia, which was a character that I think for a TV debut was very challenging.
Okay.
You know, she was somebody who was abused in so many ways, emotionally, mentally, physically. Like, she's young, she's like 16. She has no relationship with her parents. She's lost and by herself. She doesn't even know that she got like drugged up in the episode. She doesn't even know that she was seconds away from dying. Like, and she wakes up and she has to confront the reality that not only did she, you know, make decisions that led her there, but like she was saved by some grace of a detective, of a Captain Benson. Like, these strangers, and then now she has to help about, you know, the man that did this to her while coping with it. It was a very challenging role, yeah.
Right. What about Tanya did you connect with? How is Tanya and Leilany the same? Like, how did you what's
That's a
the
good
similarity
question.
between your characters?
One thing I think that I was able to, you know, connect with her on some level is the feeling of being lost. You know, the feeling of not really having an identity, of not, you know, understanding the world around you, of being just a little younger than the people around you who seem to know what they're doing. And I think that was my in for her. I was like, I need to find what connects. And what connects is she's 16 and she's lost. I remember being 16 and not knowing who I was. Like, who was I? So I think that's something that her and I could figure out together.
What is your process? How when you first get a role, how do you prepare for that role? What is your process?
This took years in the making, everyone. I want everyone to know this took years in the making. But so I immediately get this once I, you know, are we talking about auditions or like once I book it?
Like, once you book it,
okay,
and you got the role, like how do you go into your zone when it comes to your characters? What is your process?
I think like a big hint is just the words, like the writing. Like, you know, like if some person is so sharp or she only answers in one word answers, that's just a little like hint on like who that person is. And then I put myself in that role. Like, when have I only ever answered one word at a time?
Yeah,
or like, when have I started rambling? Or when have I been awkward? And once I can kind of feel the music of the scene, I'm like, oh, this is who she is. This is who she is with this other person that's in front of her. How is that compared to like when she's not with that person? So like with Tanya, I was like, when she's getting interrogated by two random women she doesn't know, how does that play on her personality? She doesn't want to admit that she's been partying on an Amtrak train with some random man. She doesn't want to admit that like she almost died. She doesn't want to admit that he's probably a bad person, because even a couple times in the script, there were kind of nuggets where it's almost she felt bad or she was confused admitting that he did something so horrendous to her. so yeah, it was like once I figured out that like music, I was like, okay. And then when Tanya wasn't with those two detectives and she was with her mom, she didn't say anything. She was uncomfortable. She didn't want to move. So it's like she's not good with authority. And so it was like once I got that nugget, you can kind of build it yourself. And I think the beauty of it is once you honor the words and once you honor kind of like what the writer's intention is, then you can fill in your spot and put in your feelings into it.
So did your director give you like the freedom to do your own thing?
Oh yeah. The director for SVU was Norberto. He was amazing. And he's definitely someone who likes to take his time and go with the flow. So when I was doing that interrogation scene, I was so comfortable on set, which I think is very important. I got so much support from the makeup department and stuff like that. But even sitting there in between takes, like he would come in and the energy was quiet. And he would come in and be like, I like that. Let's try this time. Just say this word a little, like pause right after it or something like that. See what that feels like.
Right.
And he was so open to allowing me to feel the rhythm of that character. I think that made a difference. Also, Mariska was amazing too. Like she offered me some amazing insight on being like, let's try it this way. Let's try it this way. And I think that really worked for an amazing performance, you know?
Yeah. As a director myself speaking, I think that with freedom, giving your actors the freedom, that with freedom comes creativity.
Oh yeah.
So that's a beautiful thing.
100%. Like I'm sure you feel like when you allow them to have that freedom, but you kind of give them guidelines.
I know some directors that are like strict. They're like, oh, do this, do that, and I feel like sometimes you put your actor in a box.
Yeah.
You know, so giving them the freedom to giving them the character and be like, the character is this. She's funny, she's sad, and letting them kind of find the character, feel the character. Obviously, you have to guide them.
Yeah.
But letting them have fun with the character. Sometimes the actors may do something you didn't expect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So which is really cool. Like sometimes they ask me, "Oh, what about this?" And I'm like, you know, I didn't think about that, but yeah.
But you're like, let's try it. Let's like play around.
Yeah. So that's a beautiful thing. Even though you've had some success, obviously there's some dark times or things that you've been through. So talk about some of the things that you had to overcome in the business.
Yeah, I think I'm going to put it out there. The main one is like feeling like you're not enough.
Yeah.
Or feeling like you're not worthy of that success to happen to you. It's tough, you know, like the whole like no's and the wondering if you're going to get a yes finally. Like I think for me, the real kicker was like, I don't know. I mean, it was 8 years, D'Angelo.
Yeah.
Like from my first booking, it was
crazy.
8 years. And I was like, I was going out for auditions, for Nickelodeon, for HBO. I didn't get a call back, nothing. Like I was lost completely. No manager. I was like, no sense of self. Like I was like, was that my 15 minutes of fame? Like truly, I was like, that was my 15 minutes of fame. So, like 8 years did a number on me. I struggled a lot, feeling like what did I do? Something I always thought was like, what did I do that first time that got me booked? And the entire time I was always thinking like I was my freest. I didn't care. But then because I was like, okay, I'm gonna not care. You care about trying to not care. Yeah. And it was just like this. It was just an ironic curse of the universe, but a blessing at the same time.
So from 14 until 18, you didn't book anything?
I didn't book anything. And then from 18 to 22, I didn't book anything.
That's crazy.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah. I guess it's kind of like the baseball player who always strikes out, but the one time he hits a home run, it's on the news and everybody sees it and they're like, oh, wow, he's amazing. And they did not see all the other strikeouts. That's
what I'm saying. Ooh, you ate with that one. Snaps with D'Angelo. That was good.
That's life, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I think you know, I credit my success now to my faith always, but also like you know, it's so interesting seeing the turn of events now because I'm like, nobody saw me like crying at 17 being like, I'm not good enough for this career. Or like the talks I had with my dad coming out of high school being like, I don't even know if I want to pursue this. I was auditioning for colleges at the time because I wanted to be in a drama program, and I was like, I don't even know if I'm good enough. And you know, him being such a loving father, like, put his foot up my butt and was like, you have talent, and I would tell you if you didn't.
That's
But how can
amazing.
you believe that in the moment when
Yeah.
you don't have evidence to show for it other than just this dream and this passion that you at the end of the day are the only one that's going to see in its complete
The only one that
picture.
can see it is you.
Exactly.
You spoke about your family. How are you with your family? Is your family supportive of your career? Like when you were a kid and when you said, "Hey, I wanna be in the entertainment."
Yeah.
Were they like, "Yeah, go ahead," or were they like, "I don't know, you know, doctors pay well."
Yeah, that's true. And you would
teachers-
think that like I just hit my mic. But you would think that like for first generation parents that they would be very like, don't do that, not stable.
Yeah.
They were weirdly supportive. I can't even put like my thumb down on it now, like what made them so supportive, and I honestly just credit it to their love for me. And I think they truly saw a talent. I know, right? I'm so blessed. But like I think they saw a talent from younger, or they saw something that I didn't see in myself. Sometimes I still don't see in myself. They saw something, and I think they just saw their kid want to pursue something that they couldn't, and wanted to give her as much resources as they could, you know, with the money and the lifestyle that we had. And I don't remember a single time where they were unsupportive. However, in my improv like shows, if I just did not do well, my dad would be like, on the car ride home, he would be like, Leilany, I love you, but you weren't good today. Like he would tell me straight up.
He's honest.
Yeah. Oh, talk about it. He would tell me straight up.
Okay. Also, on your long list of acting credits, you appeared alongside Queen Latifah.
I did.
Can you tell us what it was like meeting Queen Latifah and like the experience and what you learned from working with her?
Oh man, I love that
Hollywood
question.
legend. So
talk about it.
Yeah, what did you learn from? Did she teach you anything? What are the lessons you took away from that experience?
Yeah, something I definitely noticed was like with Law and Order, Mariska knows the set so well. I mean, come on, you've been on it since '99. You know what you're doing. So she knew what she wanted, and she's firm and strong and speaks her mind, and that was so powerful to have on a first experience. And then with Queen Latifah, she's so relaxed. She is so relaxed.
She's been there, done that.
Oh my gosh. She was like, she just saunter on set looking good, like, and just deliver like a great scene. And there were a couple times like in my first part, like popping up in the Equalizer, I'm supposed to be holding this like filter. I don't know things about cars, but I'm supposed to be holding up like this filter, and I was holding it awkwardly in the beginning because I didn't know what to do. And I remember she came over and she was like, let me see that. That's what I handed over, because when the queen says let me see that, you give the thing to the queen. Yeah. And she like looked at it and she goes, what if you like stand up and you like hold it like this? Like, what about that? And I went, I did not think about that. And from the rest of the scene, I did it like that, and it felt so much more natural. And it's so, you know, a third party perspective goes a long way. But just being with her one-on-one, literally when I did my first scene, like my first take, I forgot like 2 paragraphs of my lines. Like I think I forgot the entire second page because I was just like looking at Queen Latifah like right here. And I was like,
that's the queen.
I was like very strict on being like, it's crazy. But I was like, okay, like I'm not going to get starstruck. And then I'm like right here with her. And I literally, there was a moment where I went, that's Queen Latifah. That's Queen Latifah. And I like started panicking and I just forgot my lines. It was really funny. She's incredible though. A pro. True and true.
But credit to you, you held your own.
Thank you. I tried.
All right. So what would people be surprised to learn about you?
I'm introverted.
Introverted? No.
Oh, yeah. You didn't expect that, did you?
I did not expect that.
No, I'm introverted. I have to like build up my social battery.
Yeah.
I'm a huge reader. Like if I could cancel plans to just like read at home, I would.
What's your favorite book? What?
Ooh,
stands out
my
to you?
favorite book. It used to be Piranesi by I think it's Susanna Clark. I don't remember. But now it's The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which I'm sure some people have seen it. But that book changed my life so good. I finished it like a month ago. Yeah.
So, what advice would you give someone who may be watching or listening to this show? They hear your story, they feel inspired to
Ooh.
enter the entertainment industry or become an actor or actress. But let's say they don't have the money or the resources, but they really wanna be on TV. They really want to be in film. What advice would you give someone who wants to enter the competitive field of acting?
That's a good one. I have two major ones. One, fail as often as you can, because the quicker you fail and the quicker you go through those emotions and you don't do things right, the quicker you learn how to do it right and what to do different.
Right.
So don't be afraid to fail, which is such a crazy thing to say. It's very difficult to say. It's easier to say than do, but fail, make mistakes, but be bold. Be bold and make mistakes. It's better to be bold and make mistakes than just try to blend in and make mistakes, Fail. Who cares? Get it done. No one cares at the end of the day. Truly, everyone's going to forget. So just go for that. And then the second one would be, maybe a second and a third. My second one would be, I think, sacrifices. Know that you might have to skip a party to research the show that you're auditioning for tomorrow at 11 a.m., or know that you might have to go out and meet people, or you might have to go see a play just because that's maybe a theater you want to be in, and you might have to skip hanging out with your friends. You might have to skip a dinner that you wanted to go to. There's going to be moments where you're going to have to choose between your career and your personal life. But if you want to further yourself, you will have to make the tough decision.
Yeah, I always say, always bet on yourself.
Ooh, that's a good
nobody,
one.
Nobody will give you an opportunity. That's honestly the reason I started writing is because I went on one audition and I didn't get it, and I'm like, man, they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So I started writing and putting myself in my productions and stuff like that. So definitely, I would say bet on yourself. That's
a good one. I did not think about that. That's good. Yeah, bet on yourself is a really important one.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, who's going to believe in you?
Yeah.
If you believe in you, I think there's a quote that's believing in yourself is 50% of the battle or something. I don't know. I might be skewing the percentage, but it's important. Yeah, believing in yourself.
All right.
That's a good one.
So what is Leilany like outside of work? When you're not acting, what are you doing? What are you?
Ooh.
Are you traveling? Are you sitting at home reading a book? What are you?
I'm a little bit of everything, but that's such a cliche answer. But it's because I'm always finding new hobbies. Just because I was bored a couple summers ago, I learned how to beatbox, and then this summer I taught myself how to play electric guitar, and then I just started picking up reading. Now I know how to make friendship bracelets with string. I just YouTubed it and did it. I think I'm constantly in the pursuit of learning things. So I'm either so I have this little book of puzzles because I'm just I want to learn how to be really good at Sudoku. It's just I do little things like that. If you don't find me doing some hobby, who knows? I'm probably traveling. Yeah, I just came back from Mexico a month ago. It was fun.
So, is there someone in your life that inspires you to keep driving, to keep moving forward, or that lights that fire into you?
When I think about the younger version of me, she drives me. She deserves.
Thinking about that little girl.
Yeah. Sometimes it's almost stopped being less little girl and started being teenage me. I'm doing it for 15, 16-year-old me that just, I was not popular in high school at all, which I feel like is cliche too. People say that, but like I truly wasn't. I had a really good group of friends that I love so much, and I wouldn't say that I was like popular in college. I had 6 months and then COVID hit, and I was just commuting the rest of the time. So, 16-year-old me also just didn't know if she was good enough. She didn't know this or that. She'd never been in a relationship. Like, she was just so raw and naive into the world, and it's a beautiful thing. But also, I'm doing it for her because I remember being 16 and being like, I wonder if I succeeded. Like, I wonder if at 23, like, I have a job. Like, what if I'm 23 and I didn't get anything? Da, da, da. And now I'm like 22 and I'm like, I wish I can just see her or just talk to her like this for 5 minutes and be like, you did it. Like, when you think about 22-year-old me or 23-year-old me at midnight in bed, just know that she's thinking about you at the same time.
If you can go back in time and talk to the 14-year-old that didn't get the parts, that was upset, what would you tell her?
I would tell her it's coming. I would tell her in due time, it's coming. I can't rush it. I don't think I would change it. I don't think I would go back and give her advice on how to nail that audition. No, I wouldn't do it. I would let her suffer her 8 years because it got me to where I am.
Okay. So if someone wrote a book about your life, what would the title be?
Ooh, this is good.
Yeah.
Oh no. This is like make or break. I've got to come up with a really good one.
What would the title be? If somebody wrote a book about your life, what would the title be?
Ooh, can I think for a second and can you answer instead?
Okay.
Ooh, he didn't expect that, guys. He didn't expect the question to be switched.
All right, so if someone wrote a book about my life, I would say the title would be The Art of Resilience.
Oh my gosh. How in the world am I supposed to compete with that?
Yeah.
Oh,
I came to New York City with no money, no friends, no family. But at the same time, I believed in myself and I was resilient.
That's what's up.
I would say The Art of Resilience.
Ooh, love that. I love that. That's good. Snaps. Everyone in the back, snap. Ooh, what would I name mine?
Being Leilany.
It's just my first name. It's just Leilany. And really bold, weird script. I think my title would be like, the like lacrosse girls in my high school would be like TTP, like trust the process.
Yeah, trust the process.
Mine would be like some variation of trust the process.
Mm.
That's as much as I can probably give you. I don't even know.
Right. So is there a project right now that's like lighting a fire into you or like bringing you to life?
As in like something like I'm watching that's inspiring me, or like something I'm in?
As far as like what you're working on. Like, is there something that?
Well, I did. Well, what was supposed to be a co-star role on SVU ended up being a recurring role. So I was back for episode 5. And there might be, a little some that happens after that that's been inspiring too. So that's really, really exciting. And yeah, I think it's so weird for me because I can't be like, oh, like this thing that I booked is like keeping me going. But I like to say the work that I do as an artist in private has been really like keeping me alive, and I'm very fired up and feeling very excited with the things I'm learning about myself and the things that I'm like the cool things I'm learning about self-taping now that can only work to enhance my work, which I'm really just like excited to do. Yeah.
So where do you see yourself 10 years from now? Do you think you will stay in more strictly as an actor, or do you think you would kind of delve into like producing or writing or directing?
Oh, this is so interesting. Wow. I hope I give a good enough answer that me 10 years from now watching this back is like I aced that. Yeah. I think right now I'm so, focused and excited about my acting. But I also have dreams. I have bigger goals. Like I don't want the acting just for fame and glory and for money.
Exactly.
Cool perks. But I grew up in an inner city, And I grew up with people that didn't have the opportunity. I grew up with not having the most opportunities. So for me, like something that I'm determined on is I want to open up some kind of charity in the future. I don't know the details of it. I just know that the plan is in motion and God's going to help me get it. But I really, really want to give back. My life goal is to leave the world in a better way than how I found it. And I'm just set on that.
Right. Me personally, I want to have my hand in everything. Like,
Yeah.
right now I'm writing a feature.
Ooh.
So like my dream is always to like more so produce films. Like I've done series, but I really want to go to produce more feature film.
Are you excited about like the film life? Like you want to really has there been a film that's been like inspiring you or like coasting you more towards the film life?
No, I always wanted to more so work in film. I do write. I mean, I write pilots and stuff like that because it's it's easier to like write a pilot and shoot it.
Oh yeah,
or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
But I really want to delve more so into feature films. Like I wrote like 2 feature film scripts that I'm trying to get funded.
Oh wow.
So more so I want to move into the avenue of directing, writing, producing films. But so yeah, like 10 years from now, I want to have my hand in everything: writing, directing, producing, mostly feature films.
I love that. I also like that like you can feel your passion for it coming through too.
Yeah.
Wow, the world, look out! He's coming in with his films.
Yeah. So was there like was there a moment in your life where you felt like maybe acting wasn't for you? Maybe you could move into
Oh my gosh, yeah.
a different avenue?
So much. Heck yeah. I, like even, are you kidding me? Like literally like right before I booked SVU, I had a whole week where I was like, I can't do this anymore. And I saw this like really interesting quote that was like, when you hit rock bottom in your art, that's when you're about to take off. Right. And I hit rock bottom right before I booked SVU. Truly, I was like, what am I doing? It's the strike was still going on for SAG, and I was like, or had just ended, and I was like, what am I doing? And I kind of just left it up to the universe and let it unfold from there. But yeah, there were times where I was like, I don't know if I could do this crazy, unstable career. Like, I really thought about being an astronaut, but then I found out that you have to have 20/20 vision, and I wear contacts. I was like, I can't be an astronaut.
You also have to go to school for like a really long time.
I know. But I was like, to touch the stars, maybe I'll touch a star in a different way. Who knows? I did give a hug to Queen Latifa. That's a star. Yeah. Touch the stars in different ways.
Yeah, exactly. But so is there anybody that in your life that maybe at one time told you that like you couldn't do it or tried to discourage you from going into that field?
I don't think there was ever, I'm hitting my mic like crazy, but I don't think there was ever anybody that told me straight up to my face, no, you can't do that. Probably because I would have been so stubborn and like said it back in their face like, yes, I can. But something I did notice, and I want to tell all the young artists out there, is there are going to be people that when you tell them what you want to do and it's based in the arts, they're not going to take it serious. Yeah. And it was serious for me. Like, this is serious for me. And there are people that are like, the question, would you graduate college in? Like, what was your major? Yeah. And what was your degree in? Remark, yeah. And I'm just like, drama. And it would just, you could feel the energy of just like, it's a tough career. And it's one of those that, you really have to kind of figure out what you're doing. So I get where it comes from. But, be prepared for people to not take it seriously or to doubt you right away, like doubt what your success is going to look like. So I think once I got past that, I took a handle on it. I feel like, did you feel like that happened? Like if you told people you wanted to direct and like be an artist, that they're just like,
of course.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. I come from a small town in Georgia, so there's not the kind of things there are here in New York City. There's not any like movie shooting anywhere, things like that.
Mm,
And I didn't know any actors or anything like that.
yeah.
So when I told people that this is what I wanted to do, this is the avenue, it sounded insane, really.
Right.
Because like I was so far removed from anybody that worked in the industry. It seemed
Yeah.
unattainable. But I don't know, for some reason I just knew this. I wanted to be a filmmaker.
Yeah.
And I credit my mom. It's like she was like the only one that was like, yeah, you can do it. Like you can, if you
Yeah,
can do
go,
anything you set your
Mom.
mind to. So if it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't be here
Yeah.
because she really was the only one that was like, yeah, I think you can do it. You got a shot. I mean, you have nothing to lose. You know what I mean? So I mean, that's why I went for it. So yeah. Just believe
Wow.
in
Shout
my,
out to moms, right? The
yeah,
moms and the dads that believes.
yeah.
Love them.
But yeah, that's why I mean, just always bet on myself, and I believed in myself,
Oh, yeah.
and here I am.
Believe in yourself, kids. Believe in yourself, everyone.
All right.
I know about you.
Yeah.
Ooh. What inspires you daily?
Daily.
Yeah, like, or what keeps you going? This is a fire that you gotta like tend constantly to try to keep yourself going. What keeps you going?
A vision. I have a vision. I love to write. I love to write. So like I constantly have these stories in my head that I want to tell. That's why I'm always writing, which is why I name my podcast I Got a Story to Tell.
Yeah.
So what keeps me going is I just have a vision and I have like so many incredible stories that I want to tell. And I felt like, I mean, honestly, this year I told myself I was just gonna nest, which is a term that I use, which basically like just write, and develop.
Ooh. Okay. Nest. I like that.
Yeah,
I might
I'm
steal
just
that.
nesting because I know, like, in the era of social media and things like that, like where everybody's doing something and you're like, oh, they're doing that. I gotta hurry up and push this out. I
Yep.
gotta hurry up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
It's like,
this year, I'm taking my time to just write and develop all of the ideas that I have. And that fire is keeping me going. So yeah.
that's smart. I feel like that's also a very good touch on like today's culture, where now you could be like a content creator and you can just blow up overnight. So
Yeah.
it's like the need to kind of like almost like be in a race, like a sprint.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's important to remember it's like a marathon, you know,
Yeah.
for the world.
There is that line you have to draw. Like I know you want to push out content, but like I know a lot of people that will push out this content that isn't good
Yeah.
or cheap or
Ooh, yeah.
low budget, just because they want to just like post something on social media or just hurry
Yeah.
up and I gotta do this, I have to do that.
Yeah.
Instead of like taking your time and developing your ideas. It's funny, like even when I produce something, I'm always, every time I finish it, I'm like, oh man, if I just waited a little, maybe if I saved up a little bit more money, maybe if I would have just,
Yeah.
maybe so. This time I have a lot of different ideas, and I plan on doing something big, eventually, like maybe next year. So I'm just nesting and writing and
Let them brew,
focusing.
man.
Yeah.
Let them marinate. Let those ideas become full-fledged so that when that glory project comes out, it takes the world by storm.
Yeah,
That's what you need.
exactly. What about
The
yourself?
audience agrees.
What is lighting a fire?
What is lighting a fire
What
inside
lights
me?
your fire?
Ooh.
Is there?
I want to
project?
give my parents the life now that they're like retired, that they didn't. Ooh, that's a weird way to say that. That they couldn't give me with the
Right.
resources they had. Like when I graduated NYU and I was holding that diploma, the way they sobbed and they cried because they had never held a college diploma, you know, other than from me and my brother. And so just like graduating college, and they were so proud I graduated college, like. And I'm just like, when I booked my first gig, they like, they freaked out too. And I booked The Equalizer and they freaked out. And then I actually booked FBI. My episode comes out in like 2 weeks. Well, when this comes out, it would have came out already. But
It comes out in 2 weeks.
yeah, like the 19th, I think.
19th
Yeah, something like that.
of March. March
yeah.
19th.
Yeah.
Okay, look out for that. March 19th.
March 19th, yeah.
SVU.
If you didn't see it, go see it. but yeah, like when I booked FBI too, like they freaked out. So, you know, I just love it's seeing the work that they put into my life for 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 years finally come around full circle. Like the sacrifices they made weren't in vain. And that pushes me. Like if it isn't to buy my dad a Corvette, then I don't know what is, you know? So it's for them. I wanna be able to say thank you through actions, and through my success I'm doing it for them.
That's beautiful. Is there like a project or a series that you're watching that inspires you, a
Ooh.
movie?
I've got some
general?
favorite TV shows, let me tell you. I'm getting better at film because I wasn't before. I
Yeah.
didn't really watch films, but TV shows, I've got a couple. I'm going to list them. Yellow Jackets,
Right.
so good. The Last of Us.
I had
to-
That's a beautiful.
It's stunning.
Beautiful, yeah.
It is stunning. I had to like listen to the podcast on on Spotify from HBO because it was just so good. The writing, I think, was phenomenal. Blew my mind. Dickinson. It was starring Haley Steinfeld. Steinfeld. She was amazing in it. Her acting is just so good, and it's like period piece but quirky and has like modern elements, and I think it's so good. I also love Ella Hunt. Her acting is just incredible. What else? Orange is the New Black. Iconic.
Yeah.
Iconic, yo. Like there's no way you can't like it. And like what else? Who knows? I had a couple more. I got so excited about my list that I think I forgot. Films, Shutter Island, Leo DiCaprio. That was good. He ate with that one.
Movie.
Carol with Rooney Mara and Cate Blanchett. So good. I think that was the first film I saw that was like poetic and beautiful and about this forbidden relationship, and I was like, whoa, that was really good. To this day, that is one of my favorite films. I just love period pieces. Love them. I just have an attachment to them. I recently saw Aliens 2 with Sigourney Weaver. I was like jaw dropped the entire time. That was an amazing movie. Holy cow. So good. Action packed front to back. There's a reason it won 2 Oscars. Right. So good. Yeah. What about you? Do you have like an all-star lineup of films?
I would say Rocky, the second Rocky, and the Titanic. Like Titanic is the Titanic.
Good.
That might be a little cliche, but that's like
no, but it's good.
My favorite movie of all time. It's the music, the cinematography that really motivates me.
It's a beautiful story, Titanic.
Beautiful story.
It's just a really good movie. Like there's a reason it's still being talked about.
Beautiful story.
Is
there anything that you want to bring up that maybe we didn't discuss?
Ooh, this is a good question. Wow. I think I just want to say for like the young actors out there that are trying to find their footing or their worth in this business it's like what you said, like believe in yourself.
Bet on yourself.
Bet on yourself. Like bet on yourself. If you know that if you just have a knowing, because it's what I had. I just had a knowing that I could do great things, but that was it. I didn't know what avenue it could be, and I'm still learning. I just started, I still got ways to go.
Yeah.
So, if you just have a knowing that you can do it, and even if you're struggling with that knowing, know that you are going to change the world in one way or another, but also let go of a very strong, like stubborn view of how you know and you believe and you think that it's going to turn out. Because if you're so stuck on only booking movies, but you get a lead in a show.
Yeah, be open.
Yeah, it's like you be open, and also take every opportunity you can. Like take it. Don't wonder if you're good enough or if it just take the opportunity. If it comes for you, it's meant for you. Take it.
Oh, do you have any goals that you have set for this year?
Ooh, goals. I want to test for a few pilots. I know that pilot season was like kind of non-existent, but I I would love to test for a few pilots. I haven't yet. So that's a little bit of a bucket list goal.
Have you done a pilot before? Never done a pilot before?
Maybe like in school in my film residency, but I want to do one like outside, like post grad. Yeah, I've never really done like a pilot. I would love to.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to collaborate.
Yeah, we definitely.
I'm holding you to it.
I have so many ideas that we definitely got to collaborate.
Yes.
So as a whole, like, is there, like, as an actress, is there something that you want to like achieve, whether it be, I don't know,
some like grand goal?
Yeah, grand goal.
Oof. I don't know if this is the grandest goal yet, but it's a goal that I can see coming up in my foreseeable future, God willing. I want to see myself in the movie theater. Like I want to, I want to buy a ticket, and I want to grab a bucket of popcorn, and I don't care if it's one line. I want to go into a movie theater. I want to sit down and just watch this big screen and be like, "That's me."
Yeah, at the rate you're going, you're gonna get there.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Very talented. And thank you so much. I appreciate you joining, being a guest on my show.
Of course. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. For a moment, I didn't think you were gonna come.
Yeah.
Like, I'll get back to you.
Wait, we gotta tell the people why.
I talk to my people. Like, she has people now, right?
I've got people, guys. But no, like when all the SV stuff and I started posting on social media about, everybody wanted to reach out, and I was like, whoa. Again, I'm introverted. I was like, there's so much happening. And it was an overstimulation, and just your DM got buried. Man, I can't even lie. It got buried. And it wasn't until like,
now, okay.
Yeah, right, exactly. Red carpets only. But like once I was like in bed, I was like, let me get back to everyone. I was like, a week ago you reached out. I was like, he's over it. He's found someone else. It was really funny.
No.
But I made it.
There's always a special place.
I made it
on my show.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm so excited to be here.
And really thank you so much, man. I wish you the best of luck in your career. Congratulations on everything that you've accomplished. And I'm pretty sure that there are some great things in the future for you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much.
And you too for having such a cool show, asking cool questions, and you are going to make some dope art.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We came to shine here. Watch it look daytime in the night. We bring the vibes here. We full of life, you keep the change.
I don't know. This was good. Do you have a secret talent? Like one that you could just show right now?
Right now?
Yeah. Or like a quirky thing about you?
I can do that.
No, I don't know how to do it.
That's it.
What in the world? I can't do that.
What about you? You can beatbox, right?
Yeah. Should I beatbox? Oh my god.
It's on your resume.
You saw beatboxing on my resume? That's crazy.
Beatbox?
Oh, I hope it's good. It's easy, just light stuff.
Leilany Celeste, everybody. Leilany Celeste.
Light work.
You hit the top, all you left with is the memories. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, go hard to have it is your purpose. We had some faith that who gon' hurt this. A naughty night, you lullaby.